is John Marlin Stirk. I was born in Bellingham, Washington. My father's name is Harry Stirk. He was born in 1904 in South Dakota. My mother's name was Clara DeVries Stirk. She was born in 1912 in Minnesota. My parents got married on April 29 of 1936. Dad was very steady and he was firm when he needed to be, liked to laugh. He had a lot of stories and jokes, and I recall at a young age riding on Dad's lap on the tractor, and that was always great. You know, I'd love to be out with Dad doing things. And Mom was always the one that would be more comforting. I remember as being a little kid, if I was crying, or even if Dad or somebody had scolded me or hurt me, Mom was the one that would, put her arms around me. I have 5 siblings: Norma, my brother Truman, and then Dolores, Clarice, and then my brother Harold. In 1943, my parents moved to the Linden area with my oldest siblings, and they rented a farm on Jackman Road. On the farm, we had about 20 cows that we milked. We were expected to help row crops, and if we started the task, we were expected to finish it. So we learned to persevere and get the work done. The youngest is often accused of being spoiled, and probably I was in a lot of ways. My 5 older siblings kind of showed me what I could do and what I couldn't do. We didn't have TV until I was 12, so there were a lot of games that we played. There was coloring books and puzzles and things like that, and Tinker Toys and Lincoln Logs and an erector set that my brother Harold and I would play together with, and we learned how to put tools together. So once I learned how to read, my world expanded tremendously, and I loved reading about real people and real places, and I still love to read. I remember at meal times, we all sat around the table, and my dad would always ask a blessing for the food, and then after the meal, my dad would read a portion of scripture and say a prayer of thanksgiving. When I was 10, my dad and Mom decided to buy a farm. We went from 60 acres to 120 acres. We went from 20 cows to 80 cows, and my chores increased a lot. Those years growing up, I think, greatly influenced the way I later became a farmer. In April of 1963, my dad died 2 weeks before I turned 15. The war in Vietnam was going strong, and I got my draft notice within a couple of weeks of graduation. My mom went to the draft board and said that she would probably have to sell the farm if I had to go in, and so I did get the draft exemption. And at 18, I became a full-time dairyman. In the fall of 1967, I met Alice. My friend Jerry drove up with his girlfriend Dolores, and she had a friend, Alice Visser, with her. They invited me to go along with them to go bowling that evening. And Jerry said he would like to take Dolores back to Alice's house himself, and I should take Alice back to her place. I thought I should help my friend out, so I was wingmanning. But when she kissed me goodnight, I knew it was a lifetime sentence, and we got married on October 24 of 1969. She was, in a way, kind of stubborn about things, but she was also very patient. Alice and I have 4 children: Kevin, Kent Matthew, Cindy Marie, Tracy Michelle. I have 16 grandchildren. Kevin and Debbie have 5: Coy, Caden, Colin, Kirsten, and Kyler. Kent and Amy have 4 children: Drake, Jade, Carson, and Logan. Cindy and Josh have 3 children: Ethan, Asher, and Danica. Tracy and Mark have 4 children: Allison, Katie, Charlie, and Joey. I love being a grandpa. I love having the grandkids over, and they call me Papa, and that's my favorite name for myself. So a few things that I really enjoy doing. One of them, when I was about 19, I took up flying lessons and I got my private license. One of the other things we've enjoyed doing is traveling. Alice and I have gone on several cruises. More recently, that I've had a little more time, I enjoy reading. I do a lot of reading, and I've enjoyed putting puzzles together. Sometimes it's kind of frustrating to do the puzzles, but always quite satisfied when I complete the puzzle. And then there's the hobby that I've enjoyed all my life, and that is to drive tractors. Psalm 100 verse 5 is very special to me. I've carried it through my life, and I would like to share it with my children and grandchildren. For the Lord is good, His love endures forever, His faithfulness continues through all generations. The advice I would like to pass on to my children is that if you haven't already, claim that verse for yourself. I can say with the Apostle John, there is no greater joy than to hear that my children walk in the truth. I have trusted in the Lord all my life, and it is the thing that carries me through. And I want you to grab a hold of those promises that the Lord is good and He will be by your side always.